Hey F1 fans, and welcome to a new season of Formula One 2026. It's bound to be a super exciting one with the new regulations and all the changes. The teams will be shuffling, and I've got a surprise in store for you. So let's get right to it. Let's start with the surprise. So basically, before I was using PowerPoint and we were constructing all the little team boxes and the arrows and the points and putting them in and making sure that we could present before and after. Now I've written an application. So the data is pulled automatically, and I've written in logic to formulate the teams, the arrows, everything. And we have a whole lot of features. So let's actually start with the comparison from the last race of 2025 in Abu Dhabi over to the first race in 2026 in Australia. Let's see it. Here we have the Drivers' Championship comparison from last year to the first race this year. Obviously, many drivers have no points yet because only the top 10 got any points to begin with. And let's just get into it. Here's our first set. So first we have a few drivers who were right at the top of the pecking order before, but now sadly have moved down. So let's see. Norris, just less pace. They're still figuring things out. They're a customer team of Mercedes. So while Mercedes has the act together, the client teams still have things to figure out. We've got Max, who started in P17 because he crashed out in qualifying in Q1. So he didn't basically get to qualify. So he made it all the way from 17 to 6. So that was good. And 8 points, there it is, but certainly it's not a P1. And then Oscar, poor Oscar, he qualified well, but then crashed out during the reconnaissance lap. He just suddenly had a lot of extra power in a very innocent brake and downshift into, I think it was turn 4. So yeah, he didn't get to race at all. So poor Oscar is way out there, way down there, really. All right, what else do we have? Well, so here are the good outcomes from last year to this year. Russell is now firmly on top of the pack. Mercedes in general, firmly on top of the pack. Got pace, no talk of tired leg, good energy management, just everything went well. He's got that little smirk on, like he knows he's probably going to be world champion this year. We'll see about that, George. All right, and then we've got Hamilton and Antonelli actually swapped their order, with Antonelli shooting up to being in P2 already this season, and Hamilton also going up into P4 right there with Charles. Okay, and then we had a couple disappointments next. Both Albon and Sainz of Williams not getting it right. They are the team that's heavy. The car is heavy, so they're just going to be slower, and it's probably more than just that going on. So yeah, both drivers not happy. Sainz didn't get to, I think he didn't get to run quali at all or something. He just stayed in the pits. So he started way in the back. It's good that he got where he got, but a real struggle for Williams as a team. Let's see, we have a crisscross here. We have Ollie Behrman shooting up from his P13 to P7 because, hey, that has not half bad. And then Alonso, with the Aston Martin having huge troubles, he didn't get to finish the race, although he drove most of it, and then they retired, and then they fixed something, and then he went back out again on a soft tire, and then retired again. So it was more of a learning race. He's positive in the sense that they learned a lot, but not a great start to the season. Okay, and then, so two more sad stories. We've got Nico Hülkenberg, who didn't get to start at all because there were issues. It was something hydraulic, I think. and they just could not fix it. So he simply did not start. Isaac, on the other hand, qualified P3, which was excellent, got off to a decent start, but then he disclosed later he had tons of issues in the car, and at some point, not too far into the race, the car just lost all power. So he pulled over and brought one of the virtual safety cars, and there we are. So he's got no points, but the feeling is good that this year Red Bull will have 2 drivers up somewhere. And I think if Max actually got to qualify where he could have qualified, he probably would have been P3 or P5. So getting P6 was pretty damn good. We still have to see. I was super disappointed about that because I guess my biggest thing was like, I want to see where are they all now with the new regulations? Like who's up, who's down, who's better, who's got it right. And with Red Bull, we didn't really get to see it because of the things that happened. So I will have to wait another race to really see how my Red Bull is doing. Let's see. We've also got a little bit of positive. Lawson had a terrible race, but he's already higher than he was in last year's championship, just for having managed to get himself up to 13. His car didn't want to start. He did all the stuff and the car wasn't going. It had no power. It stayed without power for like 5 seconds while all the other cars were like going around him at the start line. And then he made his way through the pack partly. And then Ocon, yeah, just like Ollie Behrman and the Haas, didn't quite get a point, but the Haas doing decently well. Do we have any more? Yes, we have a little bit more. Stroll, same pretty much story as Alonso. He raced, I think he finished the race. I actually can't remember if he DNF'd before the end of the race, but a lot of laps, a lot of learning. And then Gasly, although basically the Alpine drivers were pretty upset, they were expecting more. Gasly was pretty downtrodden at the end of the race. Really, they were hoping because they threw away 2025 to develop so that 2026 could be better. Yeah, they were really hoping for more. But a point is a point, so he took it, and that's that. And do we have any more? We have one last. This looks like another big swing. Yes. So even though Hulky couldn't start, Bortoletto did, and he did quite well. He got 2 points, and he threw that Audi. Audi being there for the first time. It's a new engine, so it's a big deal, just like Cadillac. Being there for the first time and threw it up to P9, so that was excellent. And Colapinto, even in the sad state of what seems to be the disappointing Alpine, and also getting some kind of start infringement for which he had to do a stop and go penalty, which seemed extremely harsh. I'm not even sure what the impingement was. Or the infringement was, but he's already shot up from last to P14, having made out better than a lot of the other drivers who simply didn't get a good race. And then, of course, we have the new drivers. We have Sergio's in there, Perez is back, Checo, and Bottas is back. So that's super exciting. We also have Arvid Lindblad. He is new for Racing Bulls and showed just what that car can do. So I think if Liam Lawson didn't have the difficulties that he did, I think it would have been a lot better for the team as a whole. And I think that team could be best of the rest. But we'll have to see when they actually both put their flags in the sand where the car really stands. It might be close between Haas and the Racing Bulls. So that's super exciting, super awesome for him on a first race out. People are saying he has maybe a little advantage because he doesn't have to unlearn a whole bunch of stuff. He's just kind of stepping up to a whole bunch of new stuff, and it happens to be these new regulations with all the battery recharging and deploying and boosting and this and that. I'm not going to go over any of the new regulations. I'm sure you all seen it many times until now. Although I will recommend, I saw the Lollipop Man video, and it was a comedy, and it's all animated little drivers around the track. You got to see it. Look it up on YouTube. But he did basically a comedy skit. It was fairly long, but it had the drivers like basically face palming through the new regulations, you know, getting it wrong, and they're going, why is my car slowing down? And then he would explain it, and it was really well done. If you want to watch another little explainer and laugh at the same time, I would recommend Lollipop Man YouTube video for F1. Anyway, okay, I think that is it. Yes, that is it for the drivers. The ones that didn't get an arrow are gone or new. Yeah, Yuki is gone. I'm sad about that, but his career probably doesn't end here. Let's now move on to the drivers. Sorry, the teams, because we just did the drivers. All right, so in the drivers, again, from last race 2025 to this first race of 2026, we have a swapperoo near the top. Yep, McLaren dropping down from 1 to 3. And Mercedes going all the way to the top. They were close, but not that close in points. But here they go up to the top. And then we also have a little swapperoo here where Ferrari jumps up 2 spots, up to P2. And Red Bull sinks down 1. Again, it didn't help that Isaac Hadjar didn't get to finish his race, and Max basically started from P17. So I expect that to change, but we'll have to wait and see. Anything else? Yep, we had some sadness and disappointments. Like we mentioned, the Williams are not impressed because they were best of the rest last year, and now they're not. And the Aston Martins, they're basically still doing preseason testing almost, because they missed so much of that. The car wasn't ready. Another Mercedes client team just working things out. Any more? Yep. Okay. Yep. So Haas was a pleasant surprise. And Alpine, they're up, even though they were hoping, I guess, to be best of the rest, which is several spots even higher. They got 1 point from one driver. Is there anything else? No, we have the Racing Bulls right where they were last season so far. And then, of course, Kick Sauber is no more, but if we were to compare it, it would compare with Audi, and they have made a step forward, and that's with just one car getting any result. So we'll look out for them and watch that space. And of course, we have the new team, Cadillac. Nobody expected them to get any points, but they both finished the race. Wait a minute. No, they did not both finish the race. Sorry about that. But they have decent reliability, and they're off to a good foot. And this is all they expected. So they're happy. Lots to learn, lots to figure out, just like everybody else. Now, there's something I forgot to do. If we go back to the drivers, I have a little feature here where we can quickly see the gaps between, I was going to say players, between drivers. So obviously now the gaps are all like, okay, well, we're super close here, and we're also super close and super close and super close and pretty close and pretty close. The only ones that, maybe not that close is that one. So everything's close. It's just the first race. No big outliers to point out right now. This is obviously super close all the way down the bottom of the grid. But that will get more interesting as we go. And we can take a look at the same thing with the teams. So yeah, close, 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 and then not so close. If this continues, these gaps will get pretty significant and difficult to surmount. So that's it. I hope you like the new app, the new presentation. It certainly helps me out a lot to have it super clean and organized like this. Our next race is in just 1 week in China, and because I now have software, I'm absolutely going to be able to do a video after every race. And starting after the first few races, I'm going to do the car animation with the cars racing across the screen as well, because why not? The software can just do it. It's going to be pretty fantastic. So looking forward to that. Please if you like the video, to help the little bit audience grow. I do this because I love this information, and so I hope that there's others out there who love to see these moves week after week. And also subscribe so you can find out when the next one is. And until China, see you then.